Sports.
Six NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls created and enhanced Phil Jackson's Zen philosophy on assembling a team that plays and thinks as one. A certain high priest of the game, however, validated it while transforming the spirit to the supernatural. Now on the West Coast, Jackson has a new team looking to zen and win. Plenty of great individual talent with uneasy team chemistry pose the greatest challenge. Tonight, the Lakers look to take another step in their spiritual journey towards oneness. We think. Skydiving drug dealer. How could he fit that position? You know, they've tried and failed. The Lakers have to acquire Charles Oakley, Lorenzen Wright, Tom Gugliotta, Chris Webber. Power forward remains a point that Phil Jackson wants to erase from needed.
Well, very definitely so. From talking to the assistant coaches, they describe the position as after Green. They're trying to put together the pieces to simulate that position. And I think what they're more concerned with, Kevin, is defensively more than offensively. And particularly when you see somebody like Barkley today, you've got to have somebody on him.
There you take a look at Glenn Rice, who's shooting 56% from the field for the Los Angeles Lakers. Bob Delaney is our crew chief tonight with Nolan Fine and Mark Davis. The Lakers with O'Neal jumping against Olajuwon for the Houston Rockets, and we are underway from Texas. Great to have you with us tonight. And Steve Francis with the year under his belt of major college basketball at Maryland. Williams inside to Barkley, shoving his way into Green and finds two inside.
Well, and LA is not coming back to help. They indicated the fact that they were going to stay out home on everybody that they were guarding, and I think Barkley will have a feel that he'll force a double team before this is over, because I don't think one person can guard him like that, Kevin.
And they normally haven't been able to, so that would make sense as Francis knocks the Fisher pass away. Gets it from Williams, slithers inside for two. It's 4-0 Houston. And here comes Derek Fisher, who is mired in a shooting slump. Down low to O'Neal. And here's Ron Harper, the ex-Chicago Bull. He spent 5 years with the Bulls, 3 championships. Fisher from 3, and he knocks it down. Fisher is only shooting 27% from the field this year.
Yeah, well, that's why he was so open. That's how he got the shot.
They call it for 2, although Jackson is arguing on the sideline. Nonetheless, it is 4-2. And here's Barkley out to Shandon Anderson. He is having a hard time melting into this Rocket offense.
Which is very important. Shandon's got to get off for them in order for them to be effective inside. And I think that they're looking for him to do that. That big fella doesn't have any trouble getting the shot down.
O'Neal missing right there. He is 3rd leading scorer in the NBA. Barkley rumbling down the side. Lost it. Here comes Harper the other way. And if anybody knows the triangle offense, it's Ron Harper, who was taught it by Phil Jackson with all those years under his belt in Chicago. Rice and Williams. O'Neal is up top. He devoured Hakeem Olajuwon in last year's playoffs. That time has a hard time getting it off. And it's out of bounds and off the Lakers and back to the Rockets.
Well, in looking at this, he starts out so high that when he makes his spin, he's in a position where I don't think he was aware of where he was near the basket. He was a little bit too far out, and I think Houston would love for him to play from that position on the floor.
Yeah, all those big guys have their comfort zone, don't they?
Well, they definitely have their comfort zone, but I think that a lot of their offense in the triangle calls for him, particularly when you're on the side with 2 men, to play a little 2-on-2. He just got caught outside a little bit too much.
And we saw Olajuwon shooting from outside. His comfort zone is all over the floor.
Well, you'll see Olajuwon shooting from the outside because he wants Shaq to come out after him a little bit so he can open up the middle some for him.
A.C. Green, who was acquired in a trade during the offseason with Dallas. Up top to Harper, picked up by Williams. Lakers have started 1 of 3 so far. That one shot made by Fisher, who drives inside and puts it up. And that's what the coaches want him to do, to be aggressive on offense.
Well, he has to do it based on his shooting percentage. They're leaving him open. And he's got to make himself a threat, or if he doesn't, his man is going to go back and always play always play Shaq, and Shaq will never be open.
Screen by Olajuwon. Francis drills it home.
I think Stevie Francis knows his grandma is here tonight watching him.
Green into Barkley, and AC Green can't get it to go. The rebound by Olajuwon. The quick trigger to Francis. He comes the other way for the three. Rebounded by Shaquille O'Neal, who is 5th in NBA rebounding coming into tonight.
Well, and talking to Rudy today, Tomjanovich, he indicated that he wanted Francis to look more for his scoring opportunities. And you notice the first 2 times he came down the floor, he looked immediately for his shot out there, and probably that's a good sign. But he's got to understand, too, that he's got to involve some of those veterans, and that's a part of the problem that we talked about at the top of the show, that the veterans have to get the proper pace, Kevin.
Olajuwon picks up his first personal foul. And Fisher again with the miss, rebounded by Shandon Anderson, who left twice as much money on the Utah table, instead to come to Houston. And what a great shot, a 3 by Walt Williams, who shoots 37% from above the arc.
Well, and Houston is taking early offense very quickly. They're trying to get down. One of the things that Rudy said is that he wants to run a little bit more and hopefully include Barkley and Olajuwon in the offense in doing that.
Francis gets his second steal, and here comes Anderson, 2-on-2. Shandon Anderson, who has played in 2 finals with the Utah Jazz. It's Williams back to Anderson. And Olajuwon to a wide-open Francis for 3. Gets it and drives and dishes to Barkley. Oh, what a play.
Great pass. Penetrating guards gets you easy baskets, and that's where Stevie, once he reaches his comfort level, will be very effective, because if he can penetrate and get that kind of shot for his teammates, they'll be happy and he'll get more shots.
7:50 to play. We are in the first quarter. Harper's three-point shot is no good. O'Neal inhales the rebound.
To say the least. Once he gets the ball in his hand there, you might as well surrender.
He's averaging 25 points and 12 rebounds a game for the Lakers. Numbers in the top 5, and here comes Steve Francis. Puts it inside and uses the glass and really schools Fisher.
The reason he was able to do that is Olajuwon was out and Shaq had to come out of the middle. That's one of the things they were practicing today, so that they'll have the middle open so you can have more penetration in there.
Glenn Rice with the missed shot. They want Rice to get going early because they think he'll be more effective that way. In the preseason, he staggered. Another steal and a turnover. 3-on-1. Here comes Anderson. The foul called on Ron Harper. Wise move by Harper, but the great play of Francis here, mesmerizing.
It's a pick and roll. You know, you want to get in a situation where, first of all, Stevie blocks this shot, and then they get out on the break. He pushes, it's open, he wants to go to the basket, and he can do that. He's very capable of that because he's strong as well as quick.
Rockets hitting 60 all year, and of course trying to replace the legend that is Phil Jackson.
I'd be kind of depressed though if Michael came to practice if I was here.
Show you what could be and
That's
what
exactly
once was.
right. That's exactly right.
So far, 3 Laker turnovers. Rockets have capitalized. 13-6 they lead. Here's Olajuwon up top, working on Fisher. Outside to Francis. Shot clock is showing 8. Into Akeem. Harper was slow getting there. The rebound by AC Green, who gets it out to another former Chicago Bull, Ron Harper.
Akeem's got to make that shot because the strategy is to pull Shaq out. And if Shaq doesn't come out and he doesn't make the shot, it's going to backfire on him, and he's going to be still cluttering up the middle.
Lakers are now 3 of 10 shooting with the miss right there. Here comes Anderson. Walt Williams has already hit a 3. Drives inside. Picked up by Barkley, who is whacked and fouled inside for the Houston Rockets.
Looking at the earlier stages of this game, Houston looks a lot quicker than they have been looking, and they look to be initiating their offense a lot faster in transition.
With Fisher struggling and in a very bad shooting slump, Lou is seeing more time at the point guard.
Well, they're leaving Fisher open. I mean, he's got to prove himself. Sometimes that's the most difficult shot to make when you know somebody's not playing you at all.
Francis hadn't seen a kind of open shot like that all night. Missed right there, and here come the Lakers, led by Tyronn Lue, who grew up around the Kansas City area.
Well, interestingly enough, you know, right now the Lakers have those 2 small point guards in Fisher and Lue, but traditionally Jackson has liked to have big people in his perimeter game.
Big guards. That's the reason why they have Brian Shaw and Ron Harper. Who misses the shot there. Shaq tore it away. Then Cato is in there to double team him with the
That's
team.
what Cato's in the game for. He's offside, and he's grabbing rebounds, pulling balls out of people's hands, and blocking shots.
Olajuwon uncovered, untouched, but can't get it in.
Can't make that shot. The strategy is not going to work because Shaquille is going to stay off of him. That's why he's open, because they're trying to pull Shaquille back to force him to make that shot.
Shaq so far has not scored. Here comes Williams the other way. Anderson knocked away inside, loose ball, retrieved by Anderson, and plenty of time. Williams for three. He's got 2 in the game.
Well, you know, I really feel that I was talking to Tex Winters beforehand, and I asked him how far was his defense along, and he indicated the fact that the Lakers needed to become a lot better defensively. And if you looked at that, everybody went back in transitional defense. Tonight, I can tell you that, and I think they remembered what happened last year, because you see when he gets the ball now, not only 2 guys, but 3 guys come back. And today, Rudy Tomjanovich instructed his team that I want everybody to dive down on O'Neal except the guy that's guarding Glenn Rice.
Shaq so far has started 1 of 4. Phil Jackson has made it very clear he looks forward to Shaq assuming major responsibility for success or failure early in this season.
Well, I think you have to. Shaq is probably one of the most talented big men to ever play the game. And I don't mean just because of his size, but because of his skill level. When you watch him play and watch films, you become more and more impressed the more you look at him.
And he is getting fouled a lot. You can see the Rocket 13-2 run over the last just under 5 minutes of play. Here's A.C. Green with Rice trying to back in. And a foul called on Williams inside on the Rockets.
Well, if you look at the lineup that they have out there, they have Lou out there, they have Shaw out there, and they have A.C. Green out there. The only guy that you have to guard from the outside right now is Rice, and he's posted up. So Shaq's going to have a lot of problem receiving the ball inside.
Another whistle. Williams blown for another foul right there. He's got 2 in a row now, and that would be a problem point. Sure enough, they're going to bring in Carlos Rogers.
If you look now, they're posting Rice in their triangle offense. That's the good thing about the offense. It's flexible enough. A lot of times when they used it in Chicago, Michael Jordan was on the inside, but they're probably going to him because of so many people swarming Shaq to free Shaq up a little bit and give him a break.
Carlos Rogers comes in. 2 fouls already tagged on Williams, who has already hit 2 threes in the game. Brian Shaw is in for the first time, too, joining A.C. Green. Rice with the ball. Lou and Shaq down low. Rice for 2. Glenn Rice is shooting 56% from the field this year.
Well, you can't give him that kind of space. He's the one guy that Rudy Tomjanovich told him, don't give him any space. Stay on him. He said, make the other guys prove that they can hit the outside shot.
Like we said, they want to get him started early in the game. In preseason, he was getting a late start and never recovered as the spinning Olajuwon can't watch it drop. Rogers fighting for it. It's grabbed by O'Neal, and here comes Lou. Houston has never trailed in this game. Only tie was at 4. Now 17-8 Rockets. Rice again, right between the eyes for Glenn Rice.
Well, you know, you're dumb once, you're dumb twice, if you're dumb 3 times, you know, play the guy. You need to be taken out of the game. I mean, this is the only guy out there that's hitting the outside shot. You got to play him sometime.
There's a quick foul called on Tyronn Lue. Out of Nebraska, he picks up his second. He's taken the place of the ineffective Derek Fisher. And you see veteran Tony Massenberg coming in, a guy who since 1990 has played for 14 different teams in 4 different countries. He's been around.
Well, in a typical blue-collar worker, you know, he's a guy that supports a lot of people. It's necessary to have that kind of guy on the team. I mean, he'll get out there and bang, rebound, run the floor. Really, when you look at the group that he has out there now with Rogers, Cato, you have Massenberg out there, you really rested the inside people because it's not a lot of offensive players out there other than Mobley and Stevie, so you'll probably see a lot more shots being taken from the outside. The rest of these guys are basically follow-up people and offside players.
Here with this third. There you see Derek Fisher, who began in the NBA as a second-round pick and backed up Nick Van Exel, and then Van Exel went to Denver. This kid was elevated to the starting role as Francis hits his first free throw. But then they brought in Derek Harper last year, and suddenly the starting Fisher was a backup to Harper. But the playoffs were different, where he was very solid, and the Lakers rewarded him with a 7-year contract extension.
Well, I think you appreciate what he's doing, but I think you better watch very closely when you look at what Phil does. He wants a big lineup in. He doesn't feel the necessity in running that triangle offense and having a point guard because of the passing in the middle and the cutting off of the people from the inside.
Francis with 8. Here comes Rice, who's hit 2 in a row, and Shaq inside devours the defense of Cato.
Very interesting because he flashed from the opposite box towards the ball as opposed to sitting on the ball side where it was been much easier to double and triple team it.
Francis with the Cato screen. Fisher stuck right with him. Kelvin Cato from outside, who played the last couple years at the Portland Trail Blazers. That's retrieved by Shaw. Lakers are his 7th team in 11 seasons. He'll slash to the rack. Oh, what a play by the snake-like moves of that young player who has now, I think, maybe found a home in this offense, Brian Shaw.
Well, and again, particularly because of his flexibility, he's interchangeable. He can play the post position. But one thing I don't like is the Lakers don't seem to be getting transition baskets. And typically, you know, years ago, they used to get the ball out and run and fast break a lot. Now they seem to be going on a break.
Shaw the other way, who has played most of his career at point guard. But in this offense, he is the off guard. Inside to Shaq with a tomahawk slam. Oh, what a play.
Well, what is good, he again is attacking him from the weak side as opposed to coming to the ball side. And Shaw made a great pass.
Shaq now with 6. Lakers trailing by 3. Rockets have led the entire way except for the one tie at 4. Francis at 6'3", twirling his way into the defense, and a foul called on the Lakers and Derek Fisher.
You'll see a great pass to Shaq. He's on the opposite side. The ball side block is open. They go down to try to trap, and Shaq flashes from the weak side right here on the ball side, and they don't have an opportunity to double and triple team him. They flex in there, but if he's too late, he has the ball in his hand. It doesn't matter how you play him if he's standing in the lane.
Rockets 3 of 4, now 3 of 5 from the free throw line, shooting 35% from the field. As you take a look at Francis, you hit on something earlier, John, about the fact that right now he is adjusting, whether he should be the guy or whether he should defer and set up somebody else. It's a fine line these point guards walk.
Well, and a very difficult thing for a rookie to adjust to, because Stevie wants to play an up-tempo. He wants to get out and run. Now you have guys like Olajuwon in there. You have guys like Barkley who really want to set up a lot more at this point of their career.
The miss by Shaw inside. A foul is assessed on Kelvin Cato of the Rockets. And it was following the rebound. He is tagged with his first, much to the dismay of Rudy Tomjanovich, the Rocket coach. As you see some other scores, Phoenix on top of New Jersey. And Philadelphia with the revamped starting lineup leading Orlando. Orlando has been the big talk of the league so far. 3-2 with a bunch of cast-offs and oddballs from all over the place.
Cast-offs that believe in the system.
Yeah,
and I think that that's extremely important. When we saw him during exhibition, the level of enthusiasm was very high. And obviously, Doc seems to have him at that point now.
And they do believe. Here's Fisher driving inside, whacked by Cato, who draws the foul. And Fisher went down hard. And Cato picks up his second foul for Houston.
Because Shaq now feels challenged. It's one of the few times, Kevin, that he can be on the court and he may not be the biggest guy on the floor. So I might have left him out. Shaq wasn't having a super game because now Shaq will meet the challenge.
Hamilton gets the loose ball, hooks it up, and travels inside.
See, Hamilton handles the ball well for a big guy, but Shaq jumps up. He meets that challenge and blocks that shot. That's what they need to do. They need to get the ball out and push it a little bit more, I think.
Rice was going up on the shot and missed. It was retrieved by O'Neal, who sets the screen and allows Rice to pop the 3. He is shooting 56% as well from three-point territory.
Well, I'll tell you what, anybody that's shooting 53% needs to touch the ball a little bit more. And I don't care whether they're taking 20 shots a game. They need to touch it a little bit more if they're shooting that well.
Rockets have missed 11 of their last 12 shots. Francis going inside. Rogers flying off the baseline. Carlos Rogers playing last year, barely just 2 games with the Portland Trail Blazers. Injuries have curtailed his career.
Well, and that pass is not as simple as it may look. He thread that ball. It was a packed offense. I mean, and he faked the penetration, dropped it over the top, and that has to be extremely accurate with the athletes you have on the floor now.
Francis looks extremely comfortable in this offense.
I mean, look how packed the defense is when he throws that ball. I mean, he just threads that. I mean, that's a great pass.
And he's got a great athlete to aim at, too, in Rogers.
Well, and Rogers did a great job of catching it. More so, it also gives Francis an opportunity to take 5 or 6 more shots. If he can make passes and set up his big people periodically, not all the time, periodically, then he might be able to play the way Stevie Francis wants to play, get up and down the floor and take a few more shots.
32-year-old Glenn Rice at the free throw line, shooting a career best 94% from the stripe. He's a career 84% shooter. The fans on that right there. Rice was acquired before last season by the Los Angeles Lakers from the Charlotte Hornets for Eddie Jones and Eldon Campbell.
Well, if you're shooting over 50% from the floor and you're shooting 90-some% from the foul line, it doesn't matter how old you are, does it?
No, especially when you're Glenn Rice. He's got one of those pure shots as the quarter runs out. Good at the Francis is short.
That's the end of the first period. The Los Angeles Lakers.
Glenn Rice, for the first quarter, had 8 points, 3 of 4 from the field. He resuscitates the Vernon Maxwell there. He has been incredible, yet Johnny is the only significant contributor off the bench. Thus, Paul Westhead has had to shorten his rotation for the Sonics.
Well, the thing that's most significant about it is the fact that the man's only played 27.8 minutes and is averaging 20 points a game. It appears to me he might need a little bit more time.
He might. He used to play, of course, for the Rockets. Vin Baker, by the way, is in great shape and living up to his big contract extension with John Thompson and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan. Rick Fox comes in for the first time for the Los Angeles Lakers, joining Fisher, Shaw, Glenn Rice, and Shaquille O'Neal. That's the Laker 5. Bryce Drew comes in for the first time for Houston, and so does Cuttino Mobley. So a new backcourt now for the Rockets with Anderson, Hamilton, and Barkley. Fox on the perimeter. Here's Shaw, who has played the point in the past. He was the last Lakers signed, and he's the first guard off the bench as Rice hits another. He's gone 4 of 5 for Los Angeles.
Well, against pressure, too, because Houston came out of the quarter and picked up full court, and they kept the pressure on him from the corner, and he's shooting the ball extremely well. What is really interesting is the blend of old guy, meaning Charles Barkley, excuse me, Charles, and younger guys that are playing on the floor now, because Rudy said that he wanted to get the acclimation between the old way of playing and the new way of playing faster.
Cuttino Mobley is coming off a 25 point, 7 rebound, 5 assist game the other night against Orlando with the missed shot there, and Shaw misses for the Lakers. Here comes Mobley. Anderson is by himself at the other end.
That's just a breakdown in the defense on the part of L.A. If you start to take a shot offensively like that, you've got to have a guy prepared to get back defensively.
And if you're going to play for Phil Jackson, you've got to play defense.
He'll straighten that problem out, I'm certain.
Here's Fox into the double-teamed O'Neal, who has been hacked often early in the season. A pass inside, a beauty it was, and Shaw caught it. One of the nice things about O'Neal's game, which is developing as he gets older, is the passing of his.
It's his ability to pass, and that's why he fits so well into their triangle offense, because most of the time it starts with the ball going into the post, and if they double, he's got to be able to hit the open man.
And in the triangle, you've got to pass if you're a big man.
You've got to really be able to pass.
Mobley,
whoever's playing the center position.
Mobley misses the shot. Here comes Shaw down the court to Rick Fox. And picked up by Charles Barkley, who was the second leading rebounder in the NBA last year. Mobley the other way. The mismatch on O'Neal. He squeezes the trigger, and a whistle and a foul. It's on Shaw inside for L.A.
Well, you know, in looking at it, the Lakers seem extremely flat. You know, they shoot the ball. They're not getting back. You know, and today, Houston definitely seems quicker, Kevin. You see them extending. I'm certain that Phil...
Second-round pick to make one of the all-rookie teams a season ago. And the Lakers have taken a timeout with 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Rockets,
that kind of play in any offense, those guys will invent that offense. Everybody will use it. Without them, they may not be as successful, though.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Oh, it works fine. I'm telling you. Put 23 in there and a shuffle offense, and I tell you, we can have some fun with it.
Lakers are shooting 48%. They lead 28-26. Rick Fox inside, protected by Hamilton. A guy, believe it or not, who was the quarterback of his high school football team in Chicago. Didn't play major college basketball, but here he is in the NBA.
Well, I find it hard to believe that. I'd like to see that. You know, anytime you see a guy that big, and you know, but I tell you what, a star may be getting born. We may be seeing the birth of something here.
Three-time All-Star Glenn Rice has now gone 5 of 6 from the field, and he is keeping the Lakers on top 30-26. It's Barkley working on Fox. Charles can pass out of this situation, but decides to spin. He has it taken by Fox, and here comes the former North Carolina Tar Heel to Derek Fisher for 3. Another miss. Shaw trying to tap it in. Hamilton gobbles it up inside.
Hamilton's doing a great job. The Lakers are trying to get out and break now, but the wrong people are shooting. I wouldn't want Fisher necessarily to take that shot that fast.
Uh-oh. Oh, and there's a swing by O'Neal, and they got a brouhaha on the floor. Somebody swung. But we'll have to see who. For Shaquille O'Neal, it has been this kind of season. He is constantly hacked at and fouled. And a week ago, Friday in Portland, he was actually assessed 2 technical fouls and ejected in a game against the Portland Trail Blazers for excess physical play, and then his retaliation. And his retaliation got him in trouble. But this is all Barkley here.
Yeah, but I think it's somewhat of an overreaction in the beginning on Shaquille's part. Barkley swung backwards, but Shaquille pushes him, and then Barkley hits him with the ball.
And there's a punch, a left.
Shaquille threw the first punch.
A left which did not make it. Watch his left arm. Whack. Had he taken the punch, Charles Barkley would be in a standing.
Well, Shaq appeared to be the one to throw the first punch, actually. Before that, it was a bunch of woofing going on. And you hate to see this kind of thing happen because these people pay to see these great athletes play. You don't pay to see them get ejected or see them get involved in a fight. But Shaq most definitely threw the punch. Yeah, they just hit Rudy with a technical foul.
And you can see he has to be restrained.
Because it...
And that is Bob Delaney over there talking with the NBA representative, Peter Gordine. The good thing about this, there is a very veteran crew in charge of this situation. Nolan Fine, there's Bob Delaney, a former prison guard in New Jersey.
Bill Jackson will name the player to shoot the 2 free throws.
It appears as though both Barkley and O'Neal will be ejected. And they're walking Barkley off the floor right now, and Shaquille will leave the floor as well. And they're going to let Shaq go first. And this is O'Neal's second ejection in less than a week. In Portland, Jermaine O'Neal for the Trailblazers antagonized him enough that Shaq retaliated through 2 technicals and was ejected. This is his second ejection in this young season, and second in less than a week as you see Barkley leave the floor as well.
I'm not certain I'd want to be in that tunnel with the 2 of them right now.
So Shaq pushes first, Barkley throws it, and then Shaq missing with a left. And then you saw the melee that ensued.
Well, I think Barkley made a pivot move when he had the ball, and Shaq resented it, but he shouldn't have gotten that excited. He pushed him. He hit him with the ball after he swung at him.
But this is how teams have been going at Shaquille O'Neal. They've been trying to foul him or antagonize him like this. And you can, and there's a punch right there. It appears by Barkley as we send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, I walked through the tunnel with both of them. Shaquille O'Neal said he lost his cool and threw the ball, and he did not admit throwing a punch, but said he was all right. Meanwhile, Barkley said he saw Shaq throw a punch at him, and he was merely retaliating, but he did not think that he should have been ejected. But both seemed to be all right. But obviously the two stars back in the respective dugouts.
This is game 5. And you can see it's going to cause more gray hairs on the head of Phil Jackson, who has had to deal with teams going back. Just over the last couple of days, the Dallas Mavericks and Don Nelson have been following O'Neal incessantly, trying to exploit his weak free throw shooting. And that has frustrated O'Neal, but nothing like what happened in Portland last Friday, and certainly nothing like what has happened here tonight in Houston.
But I think, Kevin, you have some carryover. When you're a player like Shaq and you get out there and people are grabbing, hacking, and holding on you, you tend to become very defensive about it. Usually with most big people, you get hit 3 times before they call 1 foul.
And, John, you've had big people. You've had Dikembe Mutombo and Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing. What would you tell them when they face that same kind of attention?
Well, I don't think there's anything you can tell them because person's natural instincts take over. You hate to see what happened, occur just now, because both of those are fine athletes, and certainly I want to see them, and the people who paid to come here wants to see them play.
John Salley has taken the place of O'Neal. And with Barkley out, Tony Massenburg has come in for the Rockets. Here's Fox with the shot clock at 4, missing badly, and Mobley picks up the ball.
Well, and I think that it'll hurt L.A. a lot more than it'll hurt Houston, losing Shaq than them losing Barkley, because now L.A. has to become more of a perimeter team. You have Salley now in the triangle in the middle part posting. They probably will end up posting Rice a lot more because he's a pretty good post-up player who's capable of scoring. But, when you look at the other team, Houston out there, Big Hamilton had been playing very well, but you don't know whether he can be as effective against a more mobile player than he was against a large player like Shaquille. So I just think everything needs to calm down, level off, and then we'll see what happens.
Salley, who has been retired for the last 3 years, is now in there, and he's going to see a lot of minutes tonight. Fox has drawn a foul, and Salley has drawn a foul during this discussion. The alley-oop inside for the ancient Massenburg. It's picked up by Rice, and here comes Glenn Rice, who has been great tonight. 5 of 6 shooting from the field. Shaw to Salley. Last time we saw John Salley in full flower with the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons, winning those 2 consecutive championships. And a foul is called inside on Hamilton. Let's set the lineups for you. For the Rockets now, Hamilton is in the middle. Backcourt of Mobley and Bryce Drew. Drew in his 2nd year. Then up front, they've got Shandon Anderson flanking Hamilton on one side, although Olajuwon is setting to check in right now for Rudy Tomjanovich and Tony Massenburg. Salley is at the line taking the place of O'Neal. He has Rice and Fox up front with Shaw and Fisher in the backcourt. And John Salley misses the first free throw here.
Well, the thing that you have to really be impressed with Salley is that the guy's been 3 years out of the NBA, and now he's in here. He's got to be one heck of an athlete to be able to do that. The only bad thing, Kevin, is that with Shaquille not there, Salley will probably have to play a lot more minutes than they had intended on him playing, because he's basically just a blow player, a player to come in, use his intelligence, organize, that kind of thing. Now they're going to need him to play some serious minutes now.
And Johnny was a surprise even to make the team. They had Benoit Benjamin in camp, but they cut Benjamin, kept Salley, and sure enough, here he is. And of course, Phil Jackson has a history with old-time players like this. James Edwards in Chicago, Bill Cartwright in Chicago. Drive here by Anderson, with the floater will count, and the foul will go on Rick Fox with his 2nd foul of the game.
Well, it's interesting to see how the defense changes now. Fox is doing a good job. He's out there, but he ends up, I don't know how I agree with that call necessarily, but, with the new rules, again, how they're interpreted is something different. But I tell you what we need to watch to see if Olajuwon goes in low. He's been playing out high because of Shaq, but the last set, he was out also with Salley on him. It appears to me that he should want to post a lot more now that Shaquille is out.
Something to watch. Here comes Here's the catching move of Shaw right down the lane.
He's a great penetrator, and I think he'll eventually get a lot more time because of the big guard situation that L.A. doesn't have. L.A. really doesn't have a large team in there. It's very apparent when Shaquille is not around.
Massenberg hits it from outside, and the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers are 3 points apart.
I wonder how John Sally feels right now, knowing that he's got to stay out there.
He probably didn't expect it. And A.C. Green picks up the foul here.
You know, I was saying that just psychologically in your mind, Kevin, now Sally knows he's got to stay out there. And you know that Travis Knight would be able to play some minutes, but he's been hurt. So Sally is probably mad at Shaquille than anybody in the building.
Shandon Anderson knocks it in from outside. Shandon Anderson, who played 256 games with the Utah Jazz, yet led them in scoring just 3 times over his 3 years. Of course, there was a guy named Stockton and Malone that had something to say about that.
And he was a good fit in that system. He's got to adjust to the system, and if he doesn't adjust, he's going to be very sorry that he left there. Certain players fit well in certain systems, and he fit very well in the system with Utah.
Mobley and A.C. Green were jousting. Timeout taken, 6:42 to play in the half. Lakers on top, 34-33.
A pile of 100-year-old bricks might look like rubble to some. But I knew what they'd been through. Knew that you could hardly hurt them. And that bricks with a history like that was strong enough to stand again.
Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
Think you know football? Prove it. Win cash prizes by beating CNN Sports Illustrated experts and match your picks against celebrities like wrestling champ Goldberg.
You think you can beat me? Log on to CNNSI.com.
The best fantasy football on the web.
The Princeton Car Wash, located on Route 1 next to the Market Fair. Your full-service car wash and detail center.
Chem Dry by Rick. Clean it, protect it, deodorize it, and it dries in about an hour.
The Princeton Salon, located in the Princeton Forestville Village, where we provide excellent hair, nail, and skincare services.
Princeton Circle Exxon, located at Route 1 and Washington Road. Come to us for all your automotive needs.
The Princeton Car Wash, located on Route 1 next to the Market Fair.
For coupon information, call 448-9555.
Modern masterpieces and timeless treasures. That's what makes Memory Lane in Hillsboro a gift shop to remember. Creating quality glass ornaments. Let Old World Christmas help you recapture some of those magical memories. These fine handmade glass German collectibles will add that special touch for the holidays. Whatever the season, Memory Lane in Hillsboro has just what you're looking for. Memory Lane, located in the Nelson Corner Shopping Center in Hillsboro.
Back in Houston, this is Craig Sager with the Lakers lead by 1. Remember, L.A. playing without Kobe Bryant, who suffered a broken hand in the first exhibition game. But he is making a good recovery. He had the hard cast removed a week ago, and today he actually participated for the first time in a walkthrough, and he says he hopes to play within 2 weeks. So the return of Kobe Bryant going as expected, recovering well. He will be in his 4th year, and he just turned 21.
Wow.
Kevin, Coach?
They think, Craig, maybe right around Thanksgiving he'll get it, and they got that protective splint, as Craig just told us. And he looked good to me. He was out there shooting with great accuracy today. Looks to be in shape. He's working out, traveling with the team. It'll be great to get him back. And there's another wrinkle that Phil Jackson can add to this nice team.
That's a whole wave.
That's not a ripple, is it?
No, not at all, Kevin. Especially the way he looked in warm-up. He's just like a cat, as graceful as he was out there.
6.5 to play in the half, and a foul is called inside. Again, it's charged on the Lakers. Eric Fisher was there, and Fisher will pick up the foul. Lakers are shooting 43%, 40% shooting for the Rockets. Turnovers in the game, just 4 for Los Angeles and 4 for Houston. And here is Bryce Drew, and if ever a player was going to be reincarnated as Mark Price, this is the player. He shoots like Price. He has the same mannerisms as Price, and his game is going to be very similar to Price's, I assume.
Well, and Price is supposed to be one of his heroes, as he said. And I think that once he gets in the off-guard position, it will be very interesting to see how he does. I think Stevie's in the same position Francis, that both of those kids are kids who are naturally two guards, but trying to make the adaptation to the one guard position. But what is more fascinating to me is that Hakeem Olajuwon is still at the high post with John Sally guarding him. Since Shaq has been out of the game, Kevin, Hakeem hasn't taken one shot, if he's taken any. The strategy today was to pull Shaq out. Shaq is gone. Somebody needs to tell Hakeem that he needs to get on that box and wear Sally out.
Good point. Hakeem in the game so far has not scored. 0 of 4. He has 3 rebounds. We're tied at 34. In a close game where both Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley for fighting have been ejected. Ryan Shaw. Early pick by the Boston Celtics and a whistle and a foul, and it's called on John Sally trying to set a screen on the wing.
Well, and that's the thing that I think that they're going to do this year, which I think is great. You know, the body contact eliminate a lot of the holding, the moving screens, you know, so that people can make good cuts and good drives. You'll see more technical basketball than just physically manhandling.
Yeah, more free-flowing basketball. Yes. Here comes Olajuwon, 0 of 5, shooting from the floor. It's retrieved inside by A.C. Green.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he's still at the top of the key taking his shot as opposed to posting.
Rice inside, finds his spot. Sally rejected by Olajuwon, taken by Anderson. And ahead it goes to Drew. He'll pop the 3 right down the middle.
Catch and shoot. Off guard. Catch and shoot. He's naturally a shooting guard. He's the kind of kid that if he catches the ball and he has a chance to square up to the basket, he's very dangerous. You know,
Drew is the 6th all-time leading 3-point shooter in the history of college basketball when he played for his dad, Homer Valparaiso.
Well, and the fact, too, that, you know, both of those kids are being asked. When you talk about Drew, you talk about Stevie Francis, both of them are asked to deal with a team that's going through a transition of new players. As we indicated at the top of the show, they have 8 new players, a team that's trying to go through a new transitional philosophy because Rudy wants to run a little bit more, and I think that that's a difficult thing for 2 guys who are naturally 2 guards and not point guards. So they're going through a lot of transition.
A lot of it indeed. A foul called on Anderson, number 4, and now he's tagged with his 2nd in the last 5 seconds.
Very definitely. Looking at this indicates the new rules that you've got to let the guy cut. Last year, you could have knocked the heck out of him, bumped him, and stopped him. But particularly a lot of the older players have to get adjusted to that because they're used to touching people off the ball.
And John, scoring is up, shooting is up. It so far had a nice effect early in the season with the shot clock at 6 here. Rice will work on Mobley. Mobley's a pretty good defensive player and tries to front Rice, and a foul called on Mobley. So we talked about the new rules and the numbers that have fouled, and that's the first on Mobley. But you can see already an increase in 6 points a game scoring.
6 points a game, 45% from 44, 27 from 26, and that's good. I think that that's good because now you're going to get involved with a lot more of guys moving and using finesse. You know, the interesting thing about the new rules, Kevin, I want to see how that's going to affect off-season weightlifting. The NBA had gotten to the point that it become a weightlifting club as opposed to guys practicing the skills of the game because of the physical play. But now that they've eliminated a lot of the physical play, I'm beginning to wonder whether you'll see as much weightlifting and put guys back in the gym to work on technical skills.
More emphasis on skill and speed.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And Riley has already done that down in Miami. In fact, last year, the Miami Heat scored 102 points, not one time in the season. This year, they have scored 102 points 3 times in 5 games.
And that's what the fans come to see. Now he's on the low post. This is where I wanted to see him go.
And the result is a close-in shot. Almost went in. Green with the rebound. Here comes Ron Harper. Part of those 3 championships with the Chicago Bulls fit in so well. A guy who played in Los Angeles before, but with the Clippers. And he was traded as a #1 pick from Cleveland to Los Angeles. Rice again. Squeezing the trigger inside with a nice low post move.
Well, and I like what he did. The last time he drove from the corner, Mobley took it away because Mobley's quicker than he is. Now, Rice made the adjustment and went inside and posted him because he knew he was much bigger than he was.
Rice with 16 points. And his play alone has almost erased a one-time Rocket 11-point lead. We are tied at 37 apiece with 4.5 to play in the half. This is the NBA on TBS.
He stopped and traveled as opposed to shooting the ball.
Lakers are shooting 44%. Fisher, Green, Sally. Rice has been great. Harper at the big guard, and he holds the ball now, feeding to AC Green. Rice again, pickpocketed by Anderson. 3-on-1. Anderson to Francis. What a pretty play, and all culminating with that, with defense triggering it at the other end.
Well, if I'm Phil, I'm a little bit upset with the fact that, again, LA is slowly getting back. And against the much, much better teams in the West that they're going to have to deal with, they got to get back in defense a lot faster than that.
Fisher out to Rice. Rice only averaging a half point more than the guy he replaced, Eddie Jones, last year. Another steal for Fisher, rather for Francis, who takes it into Fisher at the other end. Hakeem can't tap it in. And a loose ball foul called on the Los Angeles Lakers inside. It's on John Sally.
Number 16, John Sally.
Well, and Houston wants to get out and run, and it starts with this. So anytime you want to get out and run, you've got to be good defensively. You've got to get it off a rebound or stolen ball. And right here, they get it off of a stolen ball. And you see Stevie Francis' athleticism. That's the way Francis wants to play. He does not want to play against a set defense. He wants to get up and down the floor. He wants to use his athleticism, and the fans love it that way with him.
Rudy Tomjanovich, he said to us earlier today, in one of the hardest decisions of his career, Toronto made an incredible offer of 2 #1 picks and 2 starters to Houston for Olajuwon. And Rudy was so distraught over the decision he would have to make, he left the city without telling anyone, went to his lake house, spent 4 days there in isolation, came back and said, you know what, I've been in the trenches with this guy for so many years. I can't get rid of him. I'm a player's coach. I got to show the players that I respect what he's done. So he kept him, and he lost what would have been a gold mine from the Raptors. But as things turn out, they got Francis, they got the great players from Portland, and things worked out. But Olajuwon remains a Rudy Tomjanovich Houston Rocket.
Well, Kevin, and too often you hear people speak about loyalty as it relates to a player. That's a perfect example of the organization having loyalty to the player, and I like that. I think that that's a great thing to hear that, because we hear this preaching about loyalty from the players to the organization. But very few organizations in any sports have loyalty to players when players get old. So I like that.
Like you used to stick with your players once they left Georgetown. Here's Hakeem. And working on Green, the fadeaway. Hakeem Olajuwon is 0 for 8.
Well, he's got 1 point, and you almost feel bad about it, because this is the time when he should really be dominating. I still think they should try to go to him a little bit and let him work through this, because there's nobody in there if he can generate a little bit of the old Hakeem that can possibly defend him down. It's on that floor for the Lakers.
Rick Fox with the miss. Both teams shooting about 40% in the absence of Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, both ejected earlier in the game as they got in a fight after a missed shot. And both are now in the locker room, and they're knocked away by Fisher as he has 13 seconds to play defense on the shot clock. And here you can see, since the ejections, what both teams have shot.
Well, and that doesn't surprise me a lot of times, because when something like that happens, it becomes a distraction, and it takes some time to emotionally get back into it. These people need to go in at halftime, reorganize, and come back out, and I'm sure you'll see better shooting. But when you lose a guy like Shaq, you lose a guy like Barkley, both of those are significant figures in the offenses of both teams. You've got to make some adjustment.
Who misses who more?
Well, I would say right now Shaq, but is a player who I wouldn't want to lose. But the thing that is interesting about it is that LA has a smaller team in and is still not playing quick. They're not getting back to defense at all.
16 points for Francis with the 3. Rice inside, and the Houston Rockets cannot inoculate themselves quick enough, because Rice is all over the place. 20 points in the first half.
And that's the man they're going to. Everything they're running now, they're trying to go to Rice.
Green on the feed from Fisher.
Is that the first fast break they've gotten? I don't understand the fact that they not, once they get the ball, get out, at least push it, be cautious, and run their half-court offense if they don't have it.
That's it. You called it, John. First 2 points in a fast break so far.
Which is amazing.
They got Olajuwon spinning on Green. Hakeem gets his first field goal of the night.
That's the dream we know. You've got to go to him. The thing that I don't understand, psychologically, he's got to get into this, Kevin. He's got to be a part of it a little bit more.
foul called inside on Coutinho Mobile, who's fronting the Laker. Little emotion on the floor, even without Barkley. They still have it.
Well, without Barkley, they still have it. I don't think you have to worry about Stevie being emotional, but this is the thing that I love. You know, you go to him inside, he takes advantage of whoever's guarding him, particularly if he plays to 1/3 of the capacity that he used to play to. Nobody on the team that's on the floor with the Lakers now can guard him. You have to go to him.
Well, I'm sure you told your...
He's the only guy with the ring. Out of respect, the same reason why Rudy wanted to keep him on the team, I'd love to see him be a little bit more vocal in practice, but it may not be his nature.
But I'm sure one time he was.
I tell you, this is the time when they need it, particularly with the transition that they're going through as a team.
Francis is pickpocketed by Fisher. Drew stayed back on defense. Fox tries to tap it in and does.
Good follow, poor read on Francis' part because he was trying to go one-on-one against a set defense. It's all right in transition. When the floor is spread out, the defense is not back. But if the defense is looking at you, had he even passed his man, someone would have been waiting for him in the back.
43% shooting by both teams, rebounding even at 21 apiece. Here's Drew to Elijah Green. Seconds remain in the half. Fox to Green and gets by Fisher. Good at the... And it's count! Count it! A 3 as the buzzer sounds by A.C. Green, who is in his second stint with the Los Angeles Lakers after playing with Abdul-Jabbar in the 80s.
Hey, Coach, just like we practiced. You always want to see something like that happen for a player that works as hard as he works.
So Green gets 7 points all in the second quarter, which gives the Lakers a 1-point lead at halftime over the Rockets. We go to Atlanta next with EJ and the Jet. For 20 points in the first half, and the Los Angeles Lakers lead the Rockets 50-49. Both O'Neal and Barkley have been ejected. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
I'm ready.
You're on.
Well, I walked out just moments ago with Phil Jackson, and he was very upset about the incident that we all saw between Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Very disappointed in Shaquille O'Neal, talking about the fact that he was losing his cool. He thought that he should have shown better composure. Meanwhile, on the other side, Charles Barkley says he should not have been ejected. He said that Shaq threw a punch at him and he was simply protecting himself. Now, there is some question whether it's a punch or an open hand. Rod Thorne, who will make the decision on a possible fine, is at the game tonight in New Jersey, so he has not seen the play. It is a veteran officiating crew led by Bob Delaney, and they will file a report after the game, and Rod Thorne will have tape in his hand to make a decision tomorrow. But there is question whether it's a punch or an open hand. But obviously, Shaq says he's cool in the locker room, but his coach is not happy at all with him. And Barkley's still fuming because he says he should not have been ejected.
Great report. Thank you very much, Craig. Interestingly enough, today the NBA fined Phil Jackson $5,000 for his comments about the refereeing in the game last Friday in Portland, where Shaq was ejected. So it's a never-ending story. Let's talk about some adjustments, though, that Jackson has got to make without Shaquille O'Neal in this second half against the Rockets.
Well, you know, as I've said to you many times, there's an old African proverb that says, when two elephants fight, only the grass get hurt. Well, the grass is going to get hurt with the Lakers because their big guy is out of there, and now they're going to have to go very small. And I think that it's going to create a problem, particularly if Houston takes advantage of it and starts posting Olajuwon, start putting Cato and him on the board. You can look for L.A. to run everything now for Rice.
And what about Houston and Tom Janovich without Charles Barkley?
Well, I think Barkley being out is significant simply because of the fact that he's their best rebounder, he's their leading scorer. But in the same token, I think that they can improvise a lot more with size. Physical size is where there's a problem with the Lakers because their biggest person is not there, and I don't think the Lakers are a very big team without Shaquille being in there.
Well, Glenn Rice was absolutely fantastic in that first half. He went 8 of 10 with 12 points alone in the second quarter and 20 for the half.
Well, you know, and I think the great thing that's going on with Glenn Rice is the fact that he hasn't been exactly pleased with the situation, supposedly with the Lakers. Kobe is out. He's getting more touches. Now he has an opportunity to show what he's made of now because he has a tremendous burden on him now. He's going to have to get a lot of shots in order for this to be close.
And the ejection for those players took place with 9:02 to play in the second quarter. And you can see the numbers before the ejection with both players and after.
Well, and there's always an adjustment, as I said, when key players like that, and some excitement like that occurs in a game.
AC Green, Fisher, Harper, Rice, and Sally as Fisher tries to wheel inside. He met Olajuwon. Ball knocked away. 9 seconds to shoot on the clock as we begin the third quarter here in the sold-out Compact Center in Houston, Texas. Rockets come in 0-4. Lakers come in 4-1. They played last night in Dallas and won handily against Don Nelson's Mavericks. Once again, with the miss. Rebound by AC Green, playing the power forward, some position that Jackson feels he needs to finish sometime this year.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, too, in looking at Glenn Rice taking that shot, it's much more difficult to shoot the ball when you don't have Shaq in the middle because you know that, you know, number one, he's going to be able to rebound, particularly if he's on the offside. Number two, a lot of people are going to be sloughing back on him. But now we see Akeem is in the post, and that's where he should be.
He kicks it outside to Cato. They rotate it over to Shandon Anderson. Shot clock at 7. Back to Hakeem. Over to Cato inside. And Cato with a lot of spring in his legs with a nice shot.
Well, Kevin, you asked at the top of the half what will happen, and that's one of the problems with Shaq not being in there. They put Cato in the game, which I think is smart. You have also Akeem in there, and they can jump over the Lakers' big people that they have present in the game.
AC Green with the miss. Rebound is tapped by Olajuwon. Here comes Steve Francis, who had 16 points in the first half. He has a chance now to duel with Rice or mismatch. Let's see what Francis does. It's in to Williams, who works on Fisher and dumps it to Cato, and then off to Olajuwon. Rebound by Sally. Derek Fisher.
Houston's going to feel awfully bad if they lose this game because they desperately need a win after playing the way they have been playing. And I think that, you know, it's time for everybody to step up there and take advantage of the fact that Shaq is not there.
AC Green, who played back in the 80s with the Lakers, then had stops in Phoenix and Dallas. Lakers so far to open up this third quarter 0 for 5. Francis had a joust with Rice and a foul called on Rice, his first of the game.
They want to push the ball, and this is an example again. You know, Francis wants to play this way. Maybe to pressured that one a little bit. Maybe he should have pulled back a little bit. The defense again was set.
John drafted in the first round by Vancouver, number 2 overall. And he said he would not sign with the Vancouver Grizzlies. He forced their hand. So what they did is they engineered a 3-team NBA record 11-player deal, and they sent him down here, where he was, of course, a second-round pick, a second choice overall in the draft, joining the Houston Rockets, and the Rockets felt very, very lucky.
And well, they should, because I think this young man is going to be a star in the league at one time, and I think it's just a question of maturity and, you know, and understanding what the world of work is about as to why he didn't go. I didn't like the way that whole thing came about, but now it's over. I think Stevie will be fine and adjust to it.
There's AC Green. Off to Harper. Good screen by Sally, but the shot won't go. Rebound by Olajuwon. Ahead it goes to Francis.
The basket gets smaller without Shaq in the middle.
Yes.
The basket gets much smaller.
Walt Williams drawing the double. Out to Hakeem, saved by Francis. Shot clock has whittled its way down to 7. Over Fisher. Francis with a 2 try and a rebound by AC Green. They wanted to get Charles Oakley for that power forward, but they couldn't afford him in their salary cap, so they got Green instead. Sally has it rejected by Cato. Francis through the hands of Cato, and a foul is assessed inside on John Sally of the Lakers.
Well, again, and it brings about the inexperience of Francis. I mean, on the break, you don't want to go to your big guy coming down like that. I mean, this initiates the fast break. You see Cato's ability to block shots and block up the middle. They can get out and run then, in which they play better. This is the way Rudy would want them to play, is to get out. This is the transitional game that they're trying to get into from the old style of playing inside.
Olajuwon clears some room, and he gets the shot down low like that. Are you saying that maybe without Barkley they can run a little bit freer?
Well, I think Barkley wants to play more at this point of his career in a set offense, and I think without Charles in there, you are able to get out and to push the ball a lot more and take advantage of your quickness.
Fisher with Francis on him, and it goes off to A.C. Green. Clock at 3. Rice with a equally tall Walt Williams on him. Nice rebound by Francis. Gets it off to the Wizard. Ahead it goes to Anderson. In a thicket of Laker defenders, and he picks it up. Rebound by Cato. He can't hook it home. Rice is there.
You know, the interesting thing, you hear so much talk about the triangle offense. This triangle doesn't look as good without Shaquille in the middle, does it? Remember number 23? It looked real good with him in the middle. You take Shaquille out of the middle of the triangle, and it just doesn't quite look as good.
Anderson picks up the foul. Ron Harper will be at the free throw line. There you take a look at Phil Jackson. I think he agrees with you.
I think he does, too. You know, I was talking to a former player of Tex who played for him in Northwestern. He said, Coach, you know, we played in the triangle all the time. He said, but, you know, once Michael Jordan got in it, he said, I didn't realize the offense was that good until Michael got in it.
Well, when Jackson reeled in Ron Harper, who was let go by Chicago, he brought a guy that brings a wealth of experience and a veteran attitude on a team that is looking for the right kind of attitude.
Well, and I think that's what he's done very smartly. He's put guys in like Green, Harper, Sally. You know, these are veteran players who will teach the younger players, and then when he works them out and puts the new players in, you know, it'll be much easier to teach his system, this triangle offense.
Olajuwon with Sally right there. Shot clock at 5. Williams for 3. The miss picked up by Green. Lakers the other way. They have gone 0 for 8 from the field in the third.
Sally did a great job that time on Olajuwon himself, too.
And Harper hits the first shot in the third quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers, who have seen their shooting dip to 39%. And that is the same for the Rockets in the game. Rockets led by 11 in the first quarter. Then Rice got hot. Here comes Francis with a beautiful floating shot that pulls the Rockets on top of the Lakers 56-54. Williams almost knocked it away and got the steal.
Well, I think one of the things you see that Rice is finding out that without Shaquille in there, he's getting a lot of the doubles. He's getting a lot of the people running at him. The focus of the defense will now be towards him a lot more. And that's the benefit of having someone like Shaquille in there. It leaves Rice open for shots. Certainly they're not going to play Sally the same way at this point of his career, the way they would play Shaquille.
Big seductive fake by Harper as he tried to take it inside. He got the defense of Anderson to commit. Anderson picks up his 4th foul. There's a timeout, and the Rockets are on top by 2.
So the detective said the butler didn't do it. It was my book. Let's go, Rick. Where's that page? I've got to finish my book. Hello, sir. Can you please tell me how your book ends? No! Now I'll never know. Brick! Oh, Brick, look what I've got. Good dog.
Hi. Today we're going to install an intercom system. Hey, Sharif, how's it coming?
Hey, Norm. Just a couple more wires to go.
Let's give it a try. Okay.
Hey, Norm, don't pay the electric bill, because I'm lighting you up.
To avoid comments like this, try using the Nike Air Believe. It's the latest from Foot Locker.
Hey, you're like a broken hammer. You got no handle.
Kiss your mama at the bus stop, because I'm taking you to school.
Well, that works great. That's all we have from the Foot Locker House of Hoops.
Who's your daddy?
This is your new business. And this is your new car. Volvo V40. Now get back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
The NBA on TBS. Brought to you by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? By IBM. Are you ready for e-business? By Sprite. Obey your thirst. Sprite. And by Volvo. Volvo for life.
Coming December 5th on TBS, Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman star in the world broadcast premiere of Absolute Power, premiering December 5 on TBS. 6:49 to play here in the third quarter with John Thompson and Craig Sager. This is Kevin Harlan. It's 56-54. Rudy Tomjanovich's Rockets on top by 2. He is the coach of the Olympic team for next year in Sydney, although he missed the Olympic qualifying tournament, Sinan Turner, in San Juan this past summer. He was so exhausted with all the things circling this franchise, he had to take some time away. So he went to a hospital and literally slept for 4 days, and then went to his lake home, and then he came back refreshed and ready. But he will remain the Olympic coach, we were told.
And he won't be refreshed long with 8 new players and a rookie point guard.
His shot by Fisher, picked up by Francis, who tries to go the other way, and Harper picks up the foul. There has been a tough mesh of the old players and their low post style, their half-court game, and the new players like Francis. And, of course, Francis is the future.
Well, very definitely. And I think one of the things that he has to adjust to is the fact that he wants to get a more upbeat game. But in the same token, you still got a guy like Barkley, you got a guy like Hakeem, who are still good players. And it's hard to balance it. You know, do you run? How much do you run? I mean, how much set stuff do you go at half court? If you go faster, you're going to increase your turnovers as they have early in the year. So it's a very difficult balance, as Rudy indicated to us at practice today. And you just have to, time has to take care of that.
And a low number of turnovers on the part of both teams so far. Nice spin move inside by Rick Fox, a guy who began with the Celtics, and when he was a rookie, kind of like this. He had to play with Parrish, McHale, and Bird. But he made it. And he has the big contract now with the Lakers after coming here for minimal money after turning down big offers from other places. He wanted to be a Laker, he said. Mobley for 3. And front forward, Cato had a hand on it, and Fox vacuums it in. And he feeds it off to Fisher. Under 6 to play here in the third quarter. We're tied at 56. Shot clock at 9. Rice to Harper. They're trying to exploit Mobley inside, and Harper comes up with a nice bounce, and the former Chicago Bull has 6.
Well, the Lakers are doing a good job in their triangle of alternating the person that they put on the block. They're just looking to see who they can take advantage of because Shaquille is not there, and just letting that person go inside. That's what's got to happen. That's exactly what's got to happen. You know, Olajuwon has got to stop deferring his leadership as a player, his leadership and his ability. He's not that far gone. He's got to get in there and start to really, particularly with Barkley being out, initiate a lot. He's got to get these young guys playing.
Fisher knocks in a 3. Fisher only his 4th 3 in 18 tries this year. It gives the Lakers a 3-point lead. Francis from outside for 3. Stevie Francis with a great stroke.
Great shot, and you notice something different, Kevin, is that the Lakers originally said that they were not going to trap anybody. They were going to do what they call staying home. But now that Shaquille is not there, you have to trap, you have to switch, you have to put a few more gimmicks in your defense, and that shows the kind of impact that Shaquille has defensively as well as offensively on your team.
Fox with the miss. Mobley gets the rebound. Mobley is the cousin of John Mobley, the Denver Broncos linebacker, and he plays that same physical style. And there is a foul as it's assessed on Rick Fox of the Los Angeles Lakers. And Phil Jackson has said that Fox is going to play some guard because Phil Jackson loves big guards.
Well, in the system of the triangle, there's no such thing really as a point guard as we traditionally understand a point guard to be. And if you looked at the Chicago team when Michael was there, they never really had a point guard in the true tradition of a point guard. And I think that's what Philly's trying to get back to with this LA team.
Here comes Olajuwon with those young-looking legs, but he misses again. He has had a dismal night shooting 3 of 15. Fox the other way, Green on the side, and Harper is trailing and left free to shoot. Williams did not get over to defend him.
That was a great shot. And in transition now, they're getting down quickly, getting early offense. The Lakers seems to be sensing some reluctance on the part of Houston to take over this game. So they're saying that we'll do it if you don't want to do it.
Carlos Rogers in the game. He misses the shot right there. AC Green with the rebound. Here comes Fisher the other way. They should keep going to Harper. He has 8 all in this quarter. And his Lakers lead it 63-61. Harper again using a slight screen and trying to slither by that. Rebound by Carlos Rogers, who played in just 2 games for a total of 12 minutes last year with the Blazers. And a ground foul charge called on Stevie Francis. That's the first on Francis.
Well, and I think in looking at Phil Jackson, he's getting a little upset with him, telling him to run the offense. I think the Lakers got away from his triangle a little bit and did a little freelancing, but they've been effective against it because now, you know, the psychological attitude of the game is changing, and the Lakers seem to be gaining more confidence now.
We just saw Kobe Bryant. They could use Kobe Bryant now with Shaq out. Ejected, the runner by Harper. The tap by Olajuwon. Right back to Mobley. Katino Mobley. Second-round pick a season ago after being the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year at Rhode Island. Francis. And they keep going into Akeem. With the miss right there, he is 3 of 16 shooting.
He's 3 of 16, but if he gets that shot, they're in a good position. You know, you can't let him, you know, have that kind of shot defensively. If he keeps getting it, I would still want him to take that shot regardless of whether he's making it or not. I'd rather miss that shot than a jump shot.
Williams knocked it away. Olajuwon is staggering, but the Rockets hanging with the 4-1 Lakers, 63-61.
Thursday on the Superstation, there's a storm. Live thunder. Last Thursday, with the title on the line, the Filthy Animals laid waste to Curly Bill at Berlin. Thunder, Thursday, 8:05 Eastern, only on the Superstation.
Somewhere between where you are
How's babysitting, guys? We had a great time.
and where you're going. The new Volvo S40.
Maybe we should start with a dog.
Every bit of Volvo for about $23,000.
You get a burger?
Oh, you forgot to get your bun first.
Okay, that's hot.
This is the way phone service used to work.
Yeah, I'll have a bun, please.
To get all your local and long-distance services, you had to go to different places. But now there's Sprint Solutions with local calling, our best calling features, and 100 minutes of any distance, anytime calling. All for one flat price, under $30 a month. Call 1-877-1-SOLUTION and get it all from one place with Sprint Solutions.
You get out of bed in the morning, you go to turn up the heat, but the furnace isn't working, and you're ready to retreat. You've got the furnace isn't working again blue.
Time to call the Doctor of Home Comfort, your York dealer. He's factory trained and fully qualified to cure the blues.
This will make you feel better.
Available at Franklin Utilities Air Conditioning and Heating Company, LLC in Somerset.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta, the Orlando Magic trying to go 4-2 and make it 3 straight wins. Check this out. Late in a game against Philadelphia, John Amici, who most recently was playing in the British League, with the tip-in. That gives him a 107-102 lead. This is a live look at Orlando Arena. 35 ticks to go. Allen Iverson has 43, but Philadelphia is down 107-102. Back to Kevin. We'll keep you posted, guys.
Take a look at Whitman and Rivers, guys that played together as rookie starting backcourt players with the Atlanta Hawks. But John Amici and Ernie just played in England, France, Greece, Italy. He was battling just to make Doc Rivers' 12-man group, and he has, and now he is paying gigantic dividends. And I say 12-man, Doc Rivers uses a 12-man rotation with his Magic.
And that was the thing that was very impressive in exhibition with him, is the fact that he was using those guys, he was pressing, he was running, and they all seemed content to do it, which is unusual because most people want to get involved with themselves. He has them playing as a team, and I hope he can continue to do that.
Philadelphia looks like they're going to continue to go winless on the road, 0-3 to start the season. And tonight, Larry Brown used a brand new starting lineup. They bench Eric Snow, and a foul called there on Walt Williams. Rice was denied going through. Rice has been cold in the second half.
Well, he's been cold. I mean, that's the new rule. You start hitting the guy, and they'll start calling that. But I tell you the thing that I don't like about this game as far as Houston is concerned, look at the veterans that are on the Lakers team. If this game ends up being this close in the fourth quarter, you have too many guys on there that have rings and know how to win close ball games.
That's the Lakers' first turnover since 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. That's a long time. We're approaching 2 minutes to play here in the third. Lakers lead by 2. Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal have both been ejected in the game. Back in the second quarter, 3 minutes in, a pickpocket by Rick Fox. He'll glide in and put it down with the steal. The frustrated Tomjanovich, and the Lakers lead it by 4, 65-61. Fox with 6 points in the game.
Well, the Lakers have forced them into a half-court game. Before, they were getting out and getting transitional baskets, and now they're running their half-court stuff, and that wasn't even running it. You come off and you take a deep shot against the set defense. Earlier, Houston was getting out and getting fast break baskets, and they were far more effective, particularly with a young and inexperienced team. But they're not going to beat the Lakers' experience if they slow it down, I don't think, anyway.
Williams with the steal. Here comes Francis. He's been a dynamite player on offense tonight with some good steal work as well. And Massenberg hits the jump shot, working on the baseline, and it's a 2-point game again. Here's Fox to Tyronn Lue. And back to Fox on the run with the miss. And gets his own rebound inside. Harper with Mobley right there. And he palmed the ball as he tried to work on the right wing.
This is a perfect example. I mean, Fox comes from the weak side. He makes the steal. He goes out. He gets a break. Nobody's back. And again, they're going over to help, which they said originally that they weren't going to do when Shaquille was in. So that's an adjustment they made at halftime, which I think is a very good thing that Phil did.
Harper just picked up a foul, and that is number 4 on Harper for number 4. And you take a look at Phil Jackson, who has the big contract and the authority now to really do what he wants with this young, impressionable team. And at the free throw line is Cuttino Mobley, a kid who grew up in Philadelphia, went to Rhode Island. By the way, when he was in Philadelphia in high school, he was a quarterback. And he says, I talked to him before the game, he said, I still use a lot of the things about quarterbacking football that I use in basketball. Leadership, direction, orchestration, all those things. He says it was an invaluable experience.
Well, and I think he needs to apply that now, and they need to tighten up on defense so they can get out and run a little bit more. You know, he needs to try to get them out and pushing the ball a little bit more. Houston was far more effective, Kevin, when they were getting the basketball out, getting down in open floor play. But if they play against the experience that the Lakers have, they're not big. The Lakers aren't big. But if you look out there, they have some guys that have some experience on the floor of how to play basketball.
And, you know, as Rudy told us today, Rudy Tomjanovich, the Rocket coach, he said, he's the one I kept. I keep telling him, he's the guy I kept. I got rid of everybody else, but I kept this young second-year player. Lou the miss. Rebound inside by their rookie, George. And out of bounds it goes off the Los Angeles Lakers. Devin George, who is out of Division III Augsburg in Minnesota, grew up outside Minneapolis. Lakers have now turned it over in their last 4 trips down.
They're starting to act like they don't want to take over this game, too.
Francis, a great deceptive move on Lou. What a play by Francis.
That's what he can do. And also what he can do is get the crowd involved in the game with what he does. And that's what they need. They need to be juiced up. They have the type of team that these kids cannot play flat. They've got to have energy.
The rookie George hits the three in the corner with a second to play.
What an answer. What an answer. Even the Laker bench reacted to it.
Tino Mobley missing that shot, ending the third quarter. Steve Francis had 8 points in the third quarter. He has 24 for the game. The Rockets looking for their first win of the year. They trail the Lakers going to the fourth by 2.
This is your new business. And this is your new car. The new Volvo V40. Now get back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
The Horseman's killed again!
We are dealing with a madman.
He's on the rampage, cutting off heads where he finds them.
Ichabod?
I've discovered something.
No!
Sleepy Hollow.
Is he dead?
That's the problem. He was dead to begin with. Rated R. Friday, November 19th.
AT&T. 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Okay, I got the ring. Finals MVP. I'm the man now. Who wants some of that? Bring it.
Meet Cyber Jordan and his backboard banging, retina burning Dr. Kaboom Air War Goliaths. NBA Live 2000. Big air, big hair. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome back to Houston. This is the NBA on TBS, coast to coast, with John Thompson and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan. We go to the fourth quarter with the Lakers on top 68-66.
Well, after Steve Francis makes a great play, this is what drives a coach crazy. He retreats so far back and is smiling, and then all of a sudden they penetrate. The Lakers penetrate with the ball. You can't defend the guy with a smile. That drives the coach crazy. They penetrate, pitches the ball in the corner, and George ends up hitting what looks like a three-point shot.
It was a three-point shot.
And that's the point that you talk about maturity and learning, that it's not over until the buzzer goes off.
Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, that's exactly what Rudy Tomjanovich told his team. He said they're doing a terrible job with clock management. Be aware of the shot clock. And Hakeem Olajuwon, coach, actually got up and told the team, let's get out there and close them out. So even he feels the sense of urgency. Kevin?
Well, he needs to feel it at this point because he's too great of a player and has accomplished too much. What he says on that team and that bench will be respected. He can't afford to defer to other people, and particularly if Charles Barkley is not there right now.
Very off night for Olajuwon with 3 hits and 15 tries. Mobley hits the free throw right there, a 76% free throw shooter, 50th anniversary team.
Well, and Olajuwon can still make a heck of an impact. There's some guys that you'd rather lose with, you know, because of what you know they can do. I'd rather see Olajuwon playing. I'd rather see Olajuwon involved whenever Rudy puts him back in the game, because you know what Olajuwon is capable of doing. There's a lot of time in this ball game, and he still can take control of it.
Evan George, who just hit the 3, the first-round pick into Fox, who was whacked and fouled by Tony Massenberg. Massenberg will pick up his second personal foul with 11:34 to play in the game, and Rick Fox working his way to the free throw line, a guy who last year is coming off a full season of starts, but deferred and took the sixth-man role, playing the Good Samaritan, and let Kobe Bryant, without any fuss from him, take that starting position. But he is a great force in the locker room, and the reason why they signed him to the big contract. As you can see, games upcoming on Turner on TNT Friday, Jazz and Kings. Next Tuesday on TNT, Pacers and Spurs. Next Wednesday on TBS, New York Knicks against the Utah Jazz. All coming up on Turner Sports. 8 points for Fox. Lakers by 2. Mobley to Massenburg. Travis Knight in the for the first time. Knight altered the Massenburg shot, and a technical foul is called on Tony Massenburg.
Well, and I think that's frustration. It's poor timing for that technical foul, you know, on his part. He caught the ball in the block, he went in, and Knight blocked the shot. You know, he might have fouled him a little bit, but it wasn't worth getting a technical foul at this point of the game.
That's why he's played for 14 teams in the last 10 years in 4 different countries.
Well, and this is one of the dilemmas that Rudy finds himself in with the Houston team. If you look out on the floor now, where's the leadership going to come from? If it doesn't come from Mobley, you know, who is virtually a young player also, where is it going to come from? And that's why you need a player like Massenburg to be under control. He's been around enough now not to let that happen.
Now the Laker 5, Travis Knight out of UConn, Ryan Shaw, Devin George, Rick Fox, and Tyronn Lue. Here's Fox. George, who hit his only shot, which was a 3, and a nice move, but one too many steps, and no wonder it looks so good. Travel. Out there for the Houston Rockets, Francis, Williams, Massenburg, Carlos Rogers, and Coutinho Mobley.
It'll be interesting to see what Francis does, because this is the part of the game that he's accustomed to trying to take over.
Missing there, fought for inside, loose ball foul called on the Houston Rockets. Massenburg, I think, again got it. He did. He's third.
Well, at some point, somebody's got to show that they want to win this game. You know, I do think, though, that Steve Francis is the kind of guy that will show. He may kick the bucket and look over, but he sure is going to try to make an attempt to do something there.
Ryan Shaw with the miss. Rebound reeled in by Travis Knight. Kicks it back out to Lue, a fresh 24, as George has it. Knight was on that Chicago Bulls team a couple years ago and was cut by Phil Jackson. Now Jackson coaches him again with the Los Angeles Lakers. And a foul called here by Williams. Glenn Rice, 0 of 2 and on the bench in this second half shooting, whereas in the first half he was mesmerizing with an 8 for 10 performance and 20 points.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll see him soon. You know, it just as Olajuwon probably will be back in real soon now also, because this is coming down to game time. And these are the guys that if you're going to die, you'd rather die than them.
Great pass by Travis Knight, and George cut well, the rookie, and the Lakers pulling away up 73-68.
Well, and they're taking advantage. They're running their half-court set. They're taking their time. They're isolating people. They're cutting people from the weak side to the strong side. And Houston is as experienced a team to adjust to that.
Fourth on Fox.
Right, that's an example of the triangle. You get it in, the cuts are made right through from the weak side after the initial 2 cutters, and Travis Knight makes a great pass. In that offense, it's extremely important, Kevin, to have the guy in the middle of the offense be able to pass the basketball. That was one of the things that the staff of the Lakers said that they were really pleased with Shaquille, is his ability to pass the basketball, catch the basketball. Is that the triangle signal he's making? I think that's the triangle.
I hope it is.
We'll leave that one.
Massenburg.
I think we broke the code.
Yeah, we probably did. We're real smart, aren't we?
Broke the triangle code.
Here comes Tyronn Lue, and he palms the ball. They call that a lot in the NBA. They're trying to get away from some of that dribbling we've seen in the past, popularized last year by Allen Iverson. Lakers on top, 73-69.
It raises expectations about what a minivan can be, with features like a powerful V6 engine, dual sliding doors, 8-way power driver's seat, dual zone temperature control, and an optional 10-speaker CD stereo system. Then, we added one more thing. Values up to $22.50 that make the Chrysler Town & Country unexpectedly affordable.
You get out of bed in the morning, you go to turn up the heat, but the furnace isn't working, and you're ready to retreat. You've got the furnace isn't working again, blue.
Time to call the Doctor of Home Comfort, your York dealer. He's factory trained and fully qualified to cure the blues.
This will make you feel better.
Available at Advanced Conditioning in Branchburg Township.
Nolde's Pianos and Organs Incorporated has been bringing music to your life for 35 years, introducing you and your family to the beauty of music has always been our goal by offering quality products like Schimmel and Kanabi and Yamaha, the #1 selling piano in the world. Musical talent is to be nurtured and expressed. Join us for guitar, drum, voice, and of course piano lessons. Appreciate the true sound of music in our unique practice rooms. Put some music in your life. Nolde's Pianos and Organs Incorporated in the Hunterdon Shopping Center, Flemington.
Steve Francis coming to the NBA, the first-round pick by Vancouver and traded to Houston.
Well, and this is going to be how he's going to be judged as the game is being played now. You look at him, Cassell is going by him, and as I said at Baptist, you look at Stockton. Now, who in the world can guard these guys? I mean, you're looking at this, and the kid is being baptized literally by fire. But tonight, I think he's doing a little bit better, and I think he's going to be tested, particularly now as this game comes down to the wire, because he's got to control the tempo of the game. But right now, you're looking, that's his grandma, and, you know, he's got incentive to get out and play.
Steve's mom passed away when Steve was and she's a little bit camera shy, I can see. Steve's mom passed away when Steve was a senior. Steve played 1 year of high school basketball as a junior, and he was so distraught and had to attend things to his family his senior year that he did not play his senior year. Phil Jackson was called for the tee, and so there you saw the shot. So he went and played junior college basketball in Texas, what would have been his freshman year in college. He then went to a community college for his second year and played in Maryland. Then he played for the University of Maryland his junior year, and he showed enough last year as a junior in college to warrant being selected #2 overall in the draft. Kicks it out to Mobley, who works into a Laker double team. Carlos Rogers in the game with Drew, Mobley, Francis, and Olajuwon. Shot clock at 5. It's a great pass to Rogers, who's rejected and then misses the jam. Francis saves the ball from going out of bounds.
Great hustle. Great hustle.
Mobley, the mismatch on Knight. The pass to...
You know, the thing about a dunk shot is a great shot, but it's a slow shot because you have to gather yourself. That first one that Rogers missed, he might have been a lot better off just landing on the glass, particularly the way the game is going now.
Fox hits Knight, poked away by Olajuwon. Shot clock at 3. Here comes Moose, slashing inside with 1 to shoot. Fox buries the jump shot. What a shot by Fox. He's got 11 points in the game.
It's experience. Again, you know, the Lakers have enough key guys that have been there to be able to control this kind of close game, particularly in a lot of quarters. There's our boy.
Mobley just tied the game at 75 with 8.5 to play.
I think Rudy said he liked him, didn't he, Kevin?
Now the compact center is rocking. Houston trying to gain momentum, looking for their first win of the year. We're tied at 75 with 8:37 to play in the fourth quarter.
You know, there are always some players that coaches really like, and he's one that certainly Rudy loves.
As America's first choice in beer during the past century, we invite you to toast the new millennium with the same clean, crisp taste you've always enjoyed. Budweiser. Now in limited edition Millennium Magnums, bottles, and cans. Now, as always, this Bud's for you.
The Flying Mile. Race fans gather at Daytona's Flying Mile.
Winning Daytona shows that the 300 is a spirited, full-blooded automobile with impeccable road manners.
Chrysler 300M, with the most horsepower of any sports sedan in its class.
No other car delivers this much motoring excitement.
She's a regular firecracker.
You are the best. We're here today to show you that even the best can get better.
Let's go. Come on, guys. What do you mean? Let's go.
As an NBA mascot consultant, my research shows this is funny. What do? Yes, nice, guys. What are you, anyway? Feel the burn, baby. Oh, nice. I like that.
The NBA's back on the Superstation. Stockton and Malone are automatic in Utah. Find out if the Eastern Conference champion Knicks can steal one from the Jazz. Knicks and Jazz, 8 Eastern, next Wednesday on the Superstation.
We had fireworks here in the second quarter as Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, after a missed shot, were inside. The brawl ensued. Both players were ejected. And in all likelihood, they'll be fined heavily by the NBA. Rod Thorne, as Craig Sager told us earlier in the game, is in New Jersey watching that particular game. The Lakers have been without Shaq, and Tomjanovich has been without Barkley since the 9:03 mark of the second quarter. And since that time, we've had varying styles of play, John Thompson. And the Rockets have really not capitalized as much as you really thought they would.
Well, at first they came out trying to play very quickly. They had the size advantage, particularly when Shaq went out. But then now it looks like that the Lakers have the experience advantage, which seems to be more of an advantage because now they're taking their time, running a half-court offense and taking advantage of the fact that they have experienced players.
We've got a jump ball, Francis and A.C. Green, and you saw the miss previous to that by Glenn Rice, who is 0 for 3 in the second half after an electrifying performance in the first.
Well, I think, and you see Mobley makes things happen, and that's why his coach loves him. You know, in a game like this, he's not sitting back. I really felt that Houston should have stayed aggressive. They sort of became a little passive, went to half-court situations, which I don't think they're effective in, particularly against the experience that the Lakers have on their team right now.
We're in the midst of our 10th tie, as you see referee Nolan Fine rearranging the players. Green jumping up against Francis, and Francis was right there, even though he was about 7 inches short. It's Tyronn Lue to A.C. Green. And Bryce Drew is on Lue. Shot clock at 8. But Fox has had a good second. Rebound by 6'3", Stevie Francis. The 3 by Francis. Missed everything, and the ball goes floating out of bounds.
Well, and it's an extremely critical time right now for Stevie to make good decisions because of the fact that you're dealing with about 7:41 in the game to go. You've got a tied ball game. You know, he is asked to play the point guard position, and this is where intelligent decisions have got to be a factor right now.
Here's Fox with Rodgers on him. They've liked Rodgers close as he came in that trade from Portland. And outside, A.C. Green.
Patience, running their offense, finding the weak links, taking advantage of an inexperienced team.
A.C. Green is the Cal Ripken of the NBA. He has the longest string of consecutive games played in the history of the NBA. It's Olajuwon inside, floating, firing, counted for 2 as Hakeem shuffles inside on Fox, who draws the foul.
Well, it was a great inside move, and that's what he's got to be able to do. He's got to be able to get inside, get the ball, and go to the basket. But I still don't like his body language, you know, his level of enthusiasm. I don't believe he's loafing. That's not what I'm saying. I would just love to see him to be a little bit more inspirational for this young group of kids that he's playing with.
Olajuwon has had a series of problems with his legs over his career, but over the last 2 years, he has worked with former Olympian Frank Rutherford to strengthen his legs. He says he's never had more hop. Even at the age of 36, he feels great physically.
Well, and I can believe that. You know, I mean, I can understand the leg situation, but he's still got to give more leadership to this group of kids.
Mobley lost it. Here comes Rice, a two-point shot. Rebound inside by Carlos Rogers. Houston leads by 1 with 6.5 to play. Mobley working on Rice. Olajuwon, the mismatch on Green, doubled by Fox, and tosses it out to Drew, who maneuvers and fires.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did, fire, because Drew is a catch-and-shoot player more than a creative player off of the dribble.
A charge on Brian Shaw.
Well, you know, if you look at Rice now, they're starting to give him the kind of respect. They're collapsing in and trying to go after him. If Shaquille were in, you've got 5 people collapsing on him. If Shaquille were in there, he would be getting that kind of treatment. And I think he's more adapted to it, being as big and strong as he is, than Glenn having 5 people guarding him at one time. But it is a question of respect.
There's another turnover, this time by Houston. The Lakers have 4 turnovers in this quarter alone. Rockets just commit their 13th right there of the game.
That's an offensive foul. I think, again, you know, I mean, I think it's a, you know, these guys are pros. They've learned the rules, and they've learned to bait the official into calling it. I think that was a heck of an acting job there.
Both teams shooting 40%. 24 from Francis has led the Houston Rockets tonight. Rice leads the Lakers, slithering inside, can't make it work. Vacuumed in by Fox, a fresh 24, and then left open for a 3. Could have been a killer. Rebound by Drew.
And they let him get the rebound. I think that Houston's got to rebound the ball. I like the way Mobley is playing Rice, though, because he's challenging.
John rebounding even at 38 apiece. The spin by Francis. Foul called on Francis.
Whoa.
He's got 3.
He's got 3. And it's a question, probably based on what we've been seeing. This is not a foul, but based on how the rules are supposed to be called, the referee is correct because he did hook the man going to the basket. We have to adjust to the new NBA rules, too, I think.
Rockets have led by as many as 11. The Lakers have led in this game by as many as 6. Here's Shaw. A bump and a grind on Francis. AC Green inside. Got the rebound. They'll send him to the free throw line. His 11th rebound tonight. The foul on Rogers.
Well, and Houston's getting killed on the offensive board. I mean, you can't get in a situation where you defend and permit a team to go back and get offensive rebounds, because most of the time when a team gets an offensive rebound, you're so frustrated because you let them get the ball, you end up fouling the man.
Robert Horry out. It's been AC Green's job. AC Green is the 4th different opening day starter at power forward for the Lakers in 4 years. And he hits the first right there. He comes into tonight a 75% free throw shooter.
Well, I'd love to see Cato in this game, too, because of the fact that he can defend and he can rebound. And right now, they're getting killed on the offensive board.
Green breaks the game's 11th tie, John, and the Lakers lead by 1 with no Shaquille O'Neal. Rockets have no Charles Barkley. Both were fighting. Both were ejected in the second quarter. Olajuwon, who has a 4 of 16 night going. Nice ball rotation. Francis to Drew with the open shot. Rogers cleans it up, and down it goes.
And I still like the way Drew missed that shot, but I like the way he looked on that one. He is a catch-and-shoot player more than a creative player. Rogers finally got in and got the offensive board. He got to the offensive board, which is good. I think they've got to get more rebounding out of him.
John, here's another find in that Pippen trade. We talked about Kelvin Cato and Walt Williams, guys that are seeing a lot of minutes. But this kid, who's been injured most of his career, was kind of the diamond in the rough they were hoping he would be, and he has not disappointed the Houston Rockets. The Pippen trade brought a lot of clutch key performers.
Well, and that's what they're adjusting to. They're adjusting to the fact that they have a lot of new people and people who have to get adjusted to a new system.
Rockets by 1. Shaw to Green to Shaw. Inside for Fox. Rejected by the angular Rogers.
Well, here comes Rogers. Now I feel the trade was a good trade. I wasn't certain before.
I know. You were holding your breath there for a second. Francis But Rogers screen and takes it, and he'll reload on top. Olajuwon against Fox. Knocked away. Shaw is there. A Laker foul called inside. It's on Rick Fox. He's got 5. Rockets tonight have taken 27 free throw attempts. The Lakers have taken 18. LA 15 of 18. Rockets 18 of 27 from the line. As you see Olajuwon ready, a 69% free throw shooter this year, 71% for his career. But tonight, John, 3 of 3 from the stripe.
And you know what is going to be really interesting to watch is that Stevie Francis is now in a situation where he's got to win some of these close ball games, playing that backcourt position of point and running a team. That's going to be important for his confidence level. You know, he's got a guy like Mobley back there with him who is exciting and applies a lot of pressure out there, but they've got to regulate the game well now. The game needs to be managed.
Francis tonight, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Mobley has been a player who, although he hasn't scored, has been crucial to the Rockets climbing back and now leading by 2 as we approach 4 minutes to play.
Well, and Houston has 3 guards in the game, and they're trying to apply a lot of pressure on the outside because they really are trying to disrupt the offense with the Lakers taking their time and running that offense.
Good point. Lakers have made some substitutions. Fisher, Harper, Green, Rice, and Sally in the game. As you take a look at Mobley, and he picks up personal foul number 4. And let's see, for the Rockets, they stick with Francis, Mobley, Williams, Rogers, and Olajuwon. And Rice will be at the free throw line for the Los Angeles Lakers. 20 in the first half, and nothing in the second. He is a free agent at the end of the season. His contract, John, will run out, and the trading can begin in the NBA on December 15th. So with his contract expiring and a very marketable commodity, his name is going to be, I'm sure, throughout the year in trade talks.
Well, definitely would be out there, but you know, the better he plays, I think, you know, I was worried about that in the beginning, but the better he plays, the more he's more likely to want to stay here. These guys are going to eventually win a championship. If they don't win it soon, they're going to win it later, but they're going to win. And that means something to still some players right now. Not many, but some.
81. The move by Hakeem, kicks it out to Mobley with 5 to shoot. The 3 won't go. Rebound by the leaping Rice.
The Lakers are showing Hakeem old respect. They're running that guy at him as soon as he gets the ball to try to double him in the low post, which is forcing Houston to take the outside shot a lot more now.
They rotated over to Harper, guarded by Mobley. That leaves A.C. Green free. Olajuwon did not get out on his man.
No, he didn't get out, and again, you have to give Phil Jackson a lot of credit for putting old veterans in. He's got Rice in the game, it's Green in the game, Harper in the game, and Sally. All of these guys know how to win.
A.C. Green has been crucial for Phil Jackson tonight. 13 points, 6 in the fourth quarter. He gives the Lakers a 2-point lead.
She won't go near me until I get a diamond. No diamond, no amore. Great.
We've only been out once, and she wants a diamond?
Introducing the Schick FX Diamond Razor. Alpha diamond coating makes each blade start sharper and stay sharper, shave after shave.
The diamond definitely improved our relationship, if you know what I'm saying.
Schick, the feel of smart design.
People are beginning to think of the automobile not just as a family vehicle, but as a personal and individual means of transportation.
The throb of a powerful engine. Now for a moment, imagine yourself as driver of this automobile. You really have to drive it.
At the Chrysler Proving Ground,
give them an expressway and their drivers are willing.
I think we made the scenic back roads fun to drive.
Or give them any country or suburban road, rough or smooth. They're the type of people who like the feel of a fine machine.
Who love to drive. The renowned engineers of Chrysler.
A minimum of ornamentation and a minimum of chrome moldings.
She's a regular firecracker. The sounds of nature sing their prettiest over the rich, throaty obligato of his engine.
Even sheet metal can have a soul.
And they give you back the romance of driving.
And that is why these will never land on an ordinary car.
And you find out what exceptional unity of man and machine has been achieved.
With John Thompson and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan at the sold-out Compaq Center, where the Rockets, John, are looking for their first win of the year. They come in 0-4. And you would think that with the opportunity to exploit the Lakers with the ejected Shaquille O'Neal, Rudy Tomjanovich would put his team in a great position to win. But they have staggered. To the Lakers' credit, they are there and leading now by 2 with 3:16 to play.
Well, and if they lose this ball game, it's going to be a terrible feeling that they're going to have, and it's going to hurt their morale, particularly because they're losing ball games at home, Kevin. You might be able to adjust to the fact that you're losing on the road, but to lose this many ball games at home is a problem.
Let's swing it over to Craig Sager.
Rudy Tomjanovich had a very short but emphatic message to his team. He said, we have to make plays. He looked at Stevie Francis and said, you don't have to do it alone. All 5 of you guys have to make plays. Kevin?
And Craig, that's been Francis's problem. When to defer to others as Olajuwon misses another shot. He is 4 for 17 in the game. And here's a guy who finished 3rd last year in NBA field goal percentage at 51% tonight for a 17.
Well, and he's just not going up with the confidence that he usually goes up with. You know, I thought that was a good play. He made 3 efforts there and got the ball back. But by the expression on his face, you can see the fact that he just doesn't have that old spark of the old Olajuwon in his eye.
5 fouls on Harper for Los Angeles. And here comes Akeem. And that is the numerical look at him tonight. 3 minutes to play, and the Rockets to within 1. Fisher, Harper, Sally, Green, and Rice for Los Angeles. Rogers, Williams, Mobley, Olajuwon, and Francis for the Rockets. Great fake by Rice. Inside, mashing his way to the hole and a foul. I'll tell you what, he gave an array, a dazzling array of fakes inside to get that shot away.
Well, he definitely did, and I think the thing that's very interesting is that the Lakers have been extremely patient now, trying to isolate who they think is the weak defender. At that point, with Rice's ability to shoot the jumper as well as penetrate, they wanted to isolate Williams, and Rice took advantage of it.
Right. And here's a guy who has not won a championship before, but looking out there for the Lakers right now. Harper has won 3 championships. Sally has won 3, 2 with Detroit, 1 with Chicago. AC Green won 2 back in the 80s with Magic and Abdul-Jabbar with the Lakers.
Well, and you have guys on the floor who know how to win, and particularly when you're coming down, you know, the crunch time in the game. Because Rice has not won a championship, I think that's one of the reasons why he might want to stay with the Lakers also.
Rice with 24. That's the main reason why Rick Fox left a lot of money on many tables around the NBA to be in Los Angeles.
Well, and the test of Houston is what they do now at this point in the game.
Olajuwon,
that's the Olajuwon.
He's won a couple of championships too.
Come on, big fella, get the spark in your eye now.
2:20 to play in the game with the Rockets trailing the Lakers 85-84. Both teams shooting 39% from the floor for the game. The screen by Green, the shot by Fisher in a horrible shooting slump, and he's right between the eyes.
Very precise, taking your time, getting the screen, coming off of the screen, taking the screen, and experience shows right here. Green sets a beautiful screen. He comes behind it, doesn't go too far, and uses it.
Time is running out, and the Rockets trail by 4.
Exciting episode of
Welcome to the age of Vega. Sony Vega, part of the Sony home entertainment universe.
Can I get a burger, please?
Okay, pull around. Ah, you forgot to get your bun first.
Okay, that's hot. Yeah, I'll have a bun, please.
to you. This is the way phone service used to work. To get all your local and long-distance services, you had to go to a bunch of different places. Thanks. But now there's Sprint Solutions. For the first time, you can get unlimited local calling, our most popular calling features, plus 100 minutes of any distance, anytime calling, all for one flat price, under $30 a month. Call 1-877-1-SOLUTION and ask for Sprint Solutions. Because doesn't getting everything from one place make a lot more sense? Sprint, the point of contact.
Coming up on Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, Kenny the Jet Smith looks to make a comeback to basketball. But before he does that, he and Ernie will get you caught up on a busy night in the NBA. All kinds of great games going on. Boston, Detroit, Seattle beat Washington. Phoenix clobbering New Jersey. Phoenix has yet to become the offensive juggernaut people expected when Penny Hardaway signed last season, but tonight Hardaway was great. And there you take a look at John Salley, and as Craig Sager just breezed over here and mentioned to us, he's played with the second unit, but not necessarily the first unit with the Los Angeles Lakers, but he is mixing his talents well with that #1 group right now.
Well, and more importantly, he's mixing his knowledge with them. And I think that the reason they got Salley is above his shoulders, not below his shoulders. He's been around, and he's got experience and knows how to play. That's the thing you look at with Houston right now. Who out there for Houston believes they can win the game? That guy is sitting in the locker room.
Great steal by Salley inside. Yeah, that guy sitting in the locker room is the ejected Charles Barkley.
That's exactly right. This is the time of the game when they would have been gone to Barkley, and this is where the little fight that they had creates a problem, particularly for Houston, because Houston doesn't have the maturity level. When you look at who the Lakers have on the floor, guys who have won rings, guys who know how to win at this time of the game.
They put A.C. Green at the free throw line. He is the only player in the history of the NBA who has played both with Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. As he stands there right now, he has a chance, and he's had a great fourth quarter and a very solid night scoring. He came in averaging only 7 points a game, and tonight he has doubled that with 14 in the absence of O'Neal and with much more responsibility.
But interestingly enough, Kevin, it was indicated that Rudy had told Francis not to try to win it on his own, but you can believe that in Francis' mind, he wants to win it on his own. That's an example. He turns it over.
That is a huge, huge turnover right there by the Houston Rockets. The 16th of the game. Most have happened in the second half. 6 in the fourth quarter alone. Where this was a golden opportunity for the Rockets to try to exploit the Lakers without Shaquille O'Neal. And now with 2 to shoot, Fisher using all 24 seconds, misses the shot. Here comes Francis, a minute to play. Rockets down, a pass inside for Rogers, and he slams it in, and we've got a 3-point game.
Good transitional basket, dangerous pass, but Rogers did a great job of catching the ball. They definitely need to stop here, Kevin. They've got to get a stop.
And look who's got it. Their marksman, Glenn Rice. He lost the ball. Rice lost the ball. Mobley inside looking for Francis. Collides with Salley, and a foul called on John Salley. With 37 seconds to play, Salley is tagged with his 5th. But look at the turnover again by the all-star Glenn Rice.
Francis turns it over first, and then Rice gets it and turns it over. Right here. In fact, he knocked it off with his leg.
And then before that, Francis.
Stevie turns it over. Does anyone want to win this game?
And then in here with Carlos Rogers.
Well, and the significance of that pass was really more the catch than it was the pass. I'm not certain that it was really a good pass, but Rogers used good hands in catching the ball.
Out from the free throw line tonight, Francis has gone 5 of 7. He has 25 points. He has 10 rebounds, so he has a double-double tonight. Timeout with a half minute to play in regulation. It's the Lakers clinging to a 2-point lead.
Dandruff, scratching, itching. Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
Marianne, what happened?
My boyfriend was supposed to send me money to take a cruise.
But he didn't use Western Union?
No, the money never made it. I only had enough for a 3-hour tour. We were stranded on a desert isle, so I dumped him for a professor.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
The NBA on TBS, brought to you by Hyundai. Every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty with 10 years powertrain coverage. By Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. By Paramount Pictures, Sleepy Hollow starts Friday, November 19th. By 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. And by Butterfinger. Bite my Butterfinger.
With John Thompson and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan at the sold-out Compaq Center. Let's first of all check the timeouts for both teams, with the Lakers leading by 2. And both teams have 3 timeouts, neither with fouls to give, and 37 seconds to play in regulation.
Well, I think the thing that really is going to be significant in this game, particularly at this point, is, again, experience against inexperience. I mean, you've got a guy on the line that can bring it to within 1, and you still are in a situation where this young man that we see right here has the burden on his shoulder of managing the clock right now. You've got 37 seconds to go in the ball game, and that can be an eternity if it's used properly.
Francis also had the 10 rebounds, the 25 points. Now let's talk about the things that the Rockets want to accomplish first, and then we'll go over to the Lakers. Let's talk about Houston first, and what is Rudy telling his team in that huddle right now?
Well, I think, number one, when you have that kind of inexperienced team, you better let them look at the scoreboard to understand the fact that they're in a position to win the ball game still, and you can't come out and act desperate and try to be a hero. You've got to be smart, but you also got to realize you got 37 seconds to go, and that can end up being an eternity unless you come out and just play stupidly. Emotionally is where I think that they have to be under control right now.
And what about Phil Jackson telling his team without Shaquille O'Neal?
Well, I don't think he has to tell them much. Look at the rings you have. Look at the rings you have, Kevin, on that side of the floor. Most of these guys have been through this before, and they're in a situation where they understand how to play at this point. I think Rudy's job is much tougher right now in the position that he's in. The most important thing I think that Rudy needs to tell him is to make the free throw. That's very important. And you can't get desperate and pick up a stupid foul. You've got to play good sound defense, and you've got enough time to come back and to score.
So the free throw here would make it a 1-point game. The defensive stop, and then you got a chance to go to the other end. 5 of 7 from the line. Francis hits. It's a 1-point game as his grandmother watches here.
You want to apply pressure, but you don't want to pick up a stupid foul.
Here comes Ron Harper out there with A.C. Green, Fisher, Rice, and Fox. It's Harper again. He had a good third quarter in this game. Shot clock at 10, big clock at 23. A 3 by Fisher, and the miss. Harper inside, volleyball, and picked up by Rogers, and a well-taken timeout by Houston. What about him shooting the 3?
Well, you know, I don't think, you know, at this point, you know, I don't think he had much of an option. You know but in the same token, I was scared to death because Houston's been getting killed on the offensive boards.
Rockets have the ball, down by 1.
With the AT&T one-rate 7-cent plan, calls are just 7 cents a minute all day, every day.
What about Canada?
What?
Canada.
Yeah, same thing. With the international plan, it's 7 cents a minute always.
What about all the other countries in the world? Japan, Mexico, Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
Oh, all right. Every country has its own low rate.
What about France? France.
Same low rate as France.
Great. I'm going to go call France.
Which is right near France.
7 cents to Canada and great rates around the world. Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Love and happiness. Walk away with victory, baby. Love and
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. Live look at the Staples Center. The Clippers home against the San Antonio Spurs, and right now it's too close to call. It's 5-5 as they play in L.A., and David Robinson trying to break the tie, but nothing doing. Michael Olowokandi with the block. Much more on Inside the NBA. All kinds of highlights, including the fight tonight in Houston, guys.
All right, here we have 17 seconds to play, and the Lakers lead by 1.
And the Lakers are leading by 1. It's 15 on the clock right now. Fisher ends up taking a long jump shot, but if you look at it, most of the time they play very passively on Fisher, and most of the other guys are being covered. It looks to be a bad shot. It's 8 seconds to go in the ball game, but you really wonder what it would have been once he passed the ball to somebody else. It's a question of judgment. It doesn't look good on the surface. You would like to have had a better shot, but they don't guard him as closely as they do the other people, so he might not have been too mistaken in taking the shot.
He's a 27% shooter, too, this season. He's in a horrible shooting slump. Here comes Mobley, guarded by Harper. Timeout taken. Great defense by Ron Harper, and the Lakers, 5.8 to play. Rockets down by 1. And a heads-up play taken by the Houston Rockets.
Well, and they're fronting Hakeem. He gets blocked in the corner. Francis is being overplayed, and that's a smart play. Francis calls timeout, and that's a smart play. It's a small thing, but it's a smart play for a rookie to call a timeout at that point in time.
Well, you can't help but think that the opportunity for the Rockets tonight may have been lost at the free throw line. They've gone 22 of 33. They've missed 11 free throws. The Lakers, in contrast, 20 of 24.
Well, and the Lakers, in all probability, are trying to go to Olajuwon because he's the guy that they feel that they can go to. But as a result, Houston is trying to go to Olajuwon. The Lakers are overplaying, and probably one of the guards will end up with a shot.
1-point game.
Because I would doubt that they would let Olajuwon catch the ball in low.
Rodgers will inbound with Olajuwon, Mobley, Francis, and Walt Williams, and a delay of game is called on the Los Angeles Lakers.
You know, Kevin, what is extremely important in this situation is the judgment of the inbounder.
Francis gets it. Working on Harper. The shot is away, will not count. Will not count, no foul called as Francis was whacked in the face, and the Los Angeles Lakers have escaped with their lives. Without an ejected Shaquille O'Neal, they have beaten the Houston Rockets, who now drop to 0-5, their worst start since the 82 and 71 NBA seasons. Francis was getting heavily pressured. No call made. That's the final score. Let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, Glenn, you had the hot hand in the first half. You lost your big guy, Shaquille O'Neal. It went down to, obviously, experience at the end. What were you guys worried about? What were you thinking when the game kept going back and forth?
Well, one of the things we wanted to do is just come out and keep our composure. I think for the most part we did that. A lot of times we came down in the offensive end and we really didn't get into the offense like we were in the first half, and it really hurt us. The defense wasn't really up to par in the second half, but we're lucky to get away with a win tonight.
They tried to get the ball to you when your last possession, either on the post or a back door, but they overplayed you.
They overplayed me. They came out the second half and played great defense, and, you know, you got to give them a lot of credit. I'm just glad we got the win today.
Did you see something in Hakeem Olajuwon that you hadn't seen before, that maybe he was a little subdued, a little laid back? Coach Thompson kept saying he didn't have that spark.
I think he was a step or two slow today. I don't know. I don't know what they need to do to put a little fire up on him, but he got to realize that this team needs him badly, and he got to step up.
Did you talk to Shaquille at halftime?
No, I didn't really. You know, Shaquille was in there. He just really he talked to us. He told us to go out and play as hard as we can and see if we can get a W.
Did he say anything about the incident itself?
No, he didn't say anything.
All right, thanks a lot. Lakers pulling out. Let's go back to Kevin and Coach.